So Ben, the guys back in training for 3 weeks now, but just talk me through the steps of how you and Simon and the academy staff have been able to prepare to let the guys back into training.
Yeah, it's been we've had a lot of things to work through to get the players back in a safe way. The first thing that we did was to work through all the players' risks at home and their personal risks to make sure that they're safe and that there's an appropriate level of they're aware of the risks of coming back training because we are still in a pandemic. Our club medical staff are fantastic at working through that with the players. Since then, we basically the players fill in wellbeing forms before they come into training. We do lateral flow testing twice a week. The coaches plan the training so that they know when the high risk events are happening, so anything contact, they know who's with who, everything's social distanced, and the players have been great and bought into it and just glad to be back in.
Yeah, without a doubt, we've been really strict and on the social distancing and wearing masks where necessary. The boys are using masks in the gym, and yeah, the lads are really adhering to it. Obviously, they know that if we don't do the right thing, training could be cancelled, and nobody wants that. We definitely don't want to be back home and not doing what we love.
We worked with, I was involved with other sports early on back in July when we didn't actually know whether COVID would spread during sport. We developed a contact tracing framework which was adopted across all team sports, and the RFL as well as other sports applied that in Super League. So when a player tested positive, we could track who they were in close contact to. We published a study based on those findings which showed that actually the game was lower risk than we first thought. There was limited evidence of transmission, basically because it's outdoor, good airflow, therefore the tackle was lower risk. That allowed us then to encourage more outdoor activity, less indoor activity. So whilst they're still close, in close proximity outdoors, it is actually lower risk than we first thought. That's helped guide the coach in terms of how they plan training and also other sports in terms of their policies. We have a responsibility to player safety and public health safety. So the first thing that we're making sure we do is that we don't put anyone at increased risk of transmission should someone be positive. That's the most important thing for us at the moment in a pandemic, which we are. The second thing is making sure that our players then return to training and performing safely. You know, the guys work really hard, the players work really hard, the staff work really hard. They always did. Now they've got to do it with a year less training to do that. So, you know, we're mindful of that. So for us, you know, we're dealing with COVID as a performance problem. We're talking about it as a coaching group. It's not just a medical problem that someone else is dealing with. So it helps us plan training to make sure that players can return safely to where they're at. Our player development continues in the club because that's important. We have a responsibility to make sure that players have the opportunity to be ready for the first team when required, but also, you know, doing that safely, which are within the constraints that we've got.
Boys have come back in great shape, and training's gone really well. And fingers crossed. We've had one positive test, but again, not from this environment. So it's a result.